I think it's very important that we understand what we're up against. What we're going to talk about today is what I believe is the AI and tech bubble that is forming. And I'm also going to share with you how I'm navigating through this, how I protect myself during these bear markets, because that's where you get wealthy, the exact system that I built to create cash flow into deflationary assets in an inflationary US dollar. But we have to really understand what is happening here. You're going to see some of the biggest changes you've ever seen from 2026 to 2030. And there's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. And they're giving us very clear hints. There's a reason why gold and silver at an all-time high. There's a reason why some of these elites are stacking Bitcoin, fixed supply assets. They're about to lower interest rates and turn these printing machines on full blast around the world. And what I believe is happening is I think they're going on a last hurrah, a last Hail Mary to launch all this liquidity and suck it out of the central banks. And then you're going to see a huge increase in stablecoins. You're going to see a massive increase in Bitcoin treasuries. You're going to see a transition from an old archaic banking system to a digital banking system. Eventually, cash is going to go away over the next 10 years. Pennies just stopped. Next will be nickels, then dimes. So what I'm about to share with you is what I believe is going to happen. And we're going to learn from some of the top people like Ray Dalio, people much smarter than me. But I'm going to share with you a very simplistic logic way to look at things. What I do is I study historical patterns over and over again in finances. That's what I'm really good at. I'm good at logically making picks in investments based on logic, not emotion. And we get wealthy in the bear markets. And so, yes, I am celebrating this red. I'm so grateful that Bitcoin is under 90,000. I'm so grateful that XRP is under $2. I'm so grateful that my WLFI, World Liberty Financial, is around 12 cents right now. There's no emotion in this. It's stoicism, discipline, consistency, repeating the same things over and over again. That's how winning is done. It's called A times E equals R. If you don't have a result, it's either the activity or the effectiveness. If it's the activity, then you need to change it. If you have the activity, you're not effective. And if you're emotional, you're going to get wrecked. So we're going to first watch a video, okay, around Ray Dalio, and he's talking about the bubble. Then we're going to watch another video around 1929, and then I'm going to show you something that's happening in the AI world. So here's what I think before we start this, is I think 2026 is going to be bullish. There's going to be a bunch of money coming into the markets. They're going to print a ton of money in low interest rate environment. Okay, that's mathematics, guys. When they lower rates, the dollar becomes worth less. Okay, people move into fixed supply assets. The markets fly through the roof. Real estate will fly through the roof. But what goes up must come down. And you want to make sure that you're positioned in the right place, because everybody forgets when these markets go up, everybody forgets that markets come back down. Okay. Greed makes people blind. So pay attention. What I'm about to present to you. And then on the back end of the video, I share with you exactly what I'm doing. All right. So let's first dive into this video here. This is Ray Dalio, the ex-CEO, or retired CEO, Bridgewater founder, Ray Dalio. He says, we are definitely in a bubble. Okay. So this gentleman right here wrote a book. I haven't read the book yet, but I'm going to go dive into it around 1929 crash. I remember when I was talking to you guys about the 1929. So I'm actually going to read his book. Ray Dalio is saying we're definitely in a bubble, but that doesn't mean you should sell. So let's pay attention.
The morning, he's here joining us to discuss the markets, the history of economic bubbles, artificial intelligence, so much more. Bridgewater founder Ray Dalio is with us. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
So you've been providing lessons for us for a very long time about economic cycles and where we are and what's going on. The big question in the market right now, because we're looking at NVIDIA this morning, and I think a lot of people are waking up thinking, where's the market headed next, has been this question of an AI bubble. And curious where you ultimately come down. Are you with Jensen Huang, who says he doesn't see it that way, or do you see something else?
There's definitely a bubble in markets. bubbles. What is a bubble? Right?
Okay. What is a bubble?
What is a bubble? A bubble is that there's a lot of creation of wealth from various ways, such as you decide that you're going to have sell $50 billion worth of stock and value it at $1 trillion, or you have multiples like that, and then you create the wealth that way. And then the question with all this wealth relative to money is who needs the money. So it's a matter of who the buyers and sellers are. For example, if we had a wealth tax,
right,
or if you had a tightening of monetary policy, then there has to be the selling of those assets. So in order to pay those things. So there's a mechanics of who owns it, is it over-owned, and so on. It's not the long-term duration of the earnings. So you think about it, isn't it interesting that we have such a short-term reaction? It's great that what the results are, but this is it's valued as a long-duration asset. So for 25 years, the next 25 years, it's very unknown. We don't know what's going to happen, and bubbles don't happen because of good estimates of what in the future. It happens because of the need for cash.
Listen.
Do you sell that asset? Do you have to sell that asset for cash for some reason?
Well, that's the question, though.
Okay. All right. So that's what a bubble is. Okay. And this is Andrew Ross, the guy that's interviewing him. He wrote a book around 1929. I want you guys to hear this. And then I'm going to show you something interesting happening in the AI world. Now, I'm not telling you go sell your stocks. What I'm just saying is you got to pay attention to what's about to happen. I think the markets are going to be very bullish during the Trump administration. But at some point, we're going to head into hyperinflation once again. So you want to make sure you're positioned. I'm positioned in protection. Okay. I'm going to be in fixed supply assets. And I'm going to make sure that I use these markets, the greed to build profit and the fear to get wealthy. Hold on one second. Sorry, I just messed that up. Switch it over here. Boom. There we go.
Those questions now.
So I think the question you'd want to be asking in 1929, and I don't know if it would have been asked, but I wish it would be,
Listen,
is how much leverage really is there in the system?
this is really important, guys. How much leverage in the system? Well, you know how much leverage was in the cryptocurrency ecosystem on 10/10/2025 because they wrecked people, 19 billion. It's been 6 weeks of that. What happened was, guys, they're sucking the liquidity out. They want your Bitcoin, guys. They're going to suck. This is going to go for a little bit longer. I think Bitcoin's going to continue to go down. This is great news if you believe in the asset. It's bad news if you're in it to get rich quick, but it's great news if you're somebody who's wanting to build wealth.
Every financial crisis, and I think I learned this writing this book, I think I learned this covering the financial crisis in 2008 and Too Big to Fail, is a function really of only one thing.
Listen,
it really is leverage. It's too much credit in the system. And
don't leverage your crypto, guys.
That is what leads to some form of speculation. 1929, it was margin loans on stock. People were literally going to brokerage houses that had sprung up on the corners of streets, the way they're like Starbucks on the corner of streets, and you could put $1 down and the brokerage would lend you $10. In 2008, it was subprime mortgages, right? And so the question for today would be, where is the leverage? And so hopefully we would have asked, is there too much leverage in 29? And today you might say to yourself, is there too much leverage and where is it?
Okay. So we want to pay attention to that. Okay. So when the markets start to boom, right? Well, you saw it happen yourself. Okay. The pandemic crash was 1.9 billion from crypto. The 10/10 crash was 19 billion from crypto. Okay. Because all the price prediction people, the hopium people all thought they were Michael Saylor. So they were like, oh, I'm going to borrow against my crypto and I'm going to go buy more crypto and then I'm going to multiply it. And boom, they suck the liquidity out of the markets. That's why I use insurance for leverage. Okay. And I'll explain that on the back end, how I protect myself. Now, this is the interesting thing. This was posted by Meta V3RSE. I just want to give them credit. This is really interesting. Then this was posted by Bloomberg. The entire US economy right now is 7 companies sending 1 trillion back and forth to each other. This is really intriguing, guys. You got OpenAI sending money to Intel to Microsoft, OpenAI to AMD, sorry, Oracle, and then I can't read the other one down there, but they're all rotating back into NVIDIA. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, guys. Okay, it's all feeding itself. The tech bubble, the AI bubble. Remember the .com bubble, the auto, oil, guys, the crypto bubble, right? This is the new bubble, which is AI technology. So I would just be aware of this. Okay, I'd be aware of this. So when you see markets just go bullish as shit when they start lowering interest rates, because this is, think about Reaganomics. Okay, they deregulated like crazy. They lowered interest rates, they brought down inflation, and then the markets went crazy, right? So Trump is going to, he has a whole monster team that's going to deregulate, bring the public and private sector together. The economy is going to boom. Okay. People are going to have more money than they've ever had in their pockets. And what's going to happen is people get greedy. Okay. Greed always destroys markets. That's how markets work. That's why there's a bear and that's why there's a bull. It's not different this time, guys. Okay. So here's my narrative and where I think we're going is what's going to happen is stable coins is going to be the fastest growing thing that you've ever seen. Okay. They're going to use stable coins to balance out the US dollar. Okay. You're going to see USD1, Trump's WLFI stablecoin is going to continue to grow rapidly. That's why I'm going really heavily inside of WFI, not just a stablecoin, but the actual utility that I believe is going to be derived through the DeFi banking system. Okay. You're going to see Tether, USAT, continue to dominate. You're going to see banks come out with the stablecoins, companies come out with stablecoins. People aren't even going to know that they're using a stable coin. They're going to be like, oh, I'm transacting with my Bank of America card, and they're going to be using a stable coin. Now, here's the thing. Stable coins are outside of the central bank. So here's my narrative that I've created. Trump is dismantling the central bank. Stable coins operate outside. It's peer-to-peer. Okay. So he created his own stable coin through WLFI. And then they wrote the rules around stable coins, the Genius Act. And I'm not shocked that the Clarity Act is being pushed back. It's probably going to get pushed back to first quarter because they're not fully ready for this. What do you think they're doing right now, guys? They're sucking the liquidity out of crypto. They're making you panic sell and they're buying up your crypto because banks are about to be able to offer crypto all over the United States. I've been telling you guys that since 2020. I've been warning you that banks are going to custody your crypto by 2025. They're getting clear rules of the road. And by back end of 2026, it's going to be a normal thing at the end at your banks. The very bank, the very financial advisors that told you that cryptocurrency is a fraud are going to be asking you to allocate some into XRP ETFs, into Bitcoin ETFs, Solana, Ethereum, because they get paid under assets under management. Think about that. Wouldn't you want an asset under management like XRP or Bitcoin? You know, you think about it, you put 3% of Mrs. Jones, the baby boomers, $5 million portfolio in there or $20 million portfolio. They're the richest population. You get paid under assets under management. So hell yeah, they're going to put that in the balance sheet if Bitcoin's beat all other markets the last 10 years. We have to wake up to what's happening. That's why you cannot be price sensitive right now, guys. The market is so thin. There's a whole new group coming into play here, and they are manipulating the living shit out of these markets. So here's where it gets bullish, okay? And I'm going to build out my narrative, and I'm going to stick with it, guys. So that's why, I'm putting my neck on the line. I'm literally telling you exactly what I'm doing. So you can come back to these. You can go back to my videos in 2020. It worked. So I'm putting my neck on the line. I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm doing, exactly what I'm invested in. No gatekeeping here. And I want to put my neck on the line because I believe in this. I believe in what's coming. So the Digital Assets Market Clarity Act, which will be established as comprehensive regulatory framework for crypto in the U.S., should be signed into law by early next year, according to South Carolina Senator. Oh, I thought it was going to be this year. Guys, this is all by design, guys. This is all by design. Everything got pushed back. The XRP Ripple case got pushed all the way to 2025. Non-egregious case, lasted 5 years. Makes no sense. ISO goes live this weekend on the 22nd. Government shuts down for 40 days. Guys, Trump has a meeting with all the top bankers at the White House. Take a deep breath, guys. You're literally in the middle of a transition. Okay. Just in, Congressman Warren Davidson introduces Bitcoin American bill to codify the Strategic Reserve Executive Order, eliminate capital gains tax when paying taxes with BTC. Okay, here's where my narrative kicks in. Okay, not financial advice. I'm just going to share with you exactly what I'm doing. XRP. I own the rails. It's not a zero-sum game, but they are. I invest. I'm an intelligent investor, Warren Buffett style. It's a great company at a fair price, in my opinion. Now, I know when I buy XRP, I'm not buying Ripple, the company, but XRP, Brad Garlinghouse words, is at the center of everything Ripple does. I'm an ex-banker. I understand the utility. So XRP is my bridge currency that's going to change the way the modern financial system works. Okay, so that's my narrative number one. Number two is owning the picks and shovels. Okay, American Bitcoin. I am getting into ABTC. This is American Bitcoin. This is owned by Eric Trump. Okay, his dad's writing the rules and his son's building the infrastructure. Okay, so this is American Bitcoin. I am investing. This is a stock. Okay, this is about the only single exposure stock I have. All my other stocks are dividends. So we got XRP, the bridge currency. Okay, ABTC, the infrastructure. I own Bitcoin, the new gold, and WLFI, World Liberty Financial, the new DeFi platform. The bridge currency, the gold, the picks and shovels for the gold, the mining, that's what American Bitcoin is, and the new decentralized platform with one of the fastest growing stablecoins, USD1, and soon to come, lending and borrowing on the ecosystem. This is a world liberty financial. It's a world bank. Think about this. This is my narrative, guys, is they were debanking the Trump family. So did they Trump everybody and come out and say, you know what? Steve Witkoff, Alex Witkoff, I can't remember his other son's name, but the Witkoff boys and the Trump boys came together and said, okay, debank us. We're going to create our own bank. We're going to create a bank that everybody in the world has access to. And we're going to create a stable coin where we can be peer-to-peer. Completely opposite of the traditional banking system that debanked them. Their pops is in the White House. Both of their dads, okay? Steve Witkoff, Donald Trump writing the rules, Steve Witkoff traveling around the world, making deals. The Middle East is bringing $1 trillion into America. Pay attention to what's happening over there, guys. You got Howard Lutnick, Commerce Secretary, writing the rules for our commerce. Cantor Fitzgerald, study Cantor Fitzgerald. His son Brandon took over. Okay. He's going to be a billionaire in Bitcoin. They own a Bitcoin company that does the custody for Tether. Guys, you got to wake up to this, man. You got to get out of the emotional state of mind. You got to stop chasing hopium. You got to stop chasing get rich quick. You got to stop chasing price predictions. You have to build your own thesis, and you have to believe in what you hold with absolute conviction, guys, with absolute conviction. Please listen to what I'm saying. I don't care what you invest in, but I'm putting my neck on the line and sharing with you exactly what I'm doing, and I'm convicted in it. Just like when I invested in XRP and everybody made fun of me, and especially when Ripple got sued by the SEC. And I held the line. I said, no, this doesn't feel right to me. Something feels off. And I went deeper in research, and I built conviction, and I stayed convicted. And when it collapsed, I bought it, and I kept buying it. And I bought it every single day since then. Then when I started to build my narrative around Bitcoin, the new digital gold, I stuck with it. I don't care what the naysayers say. I don't care what this community says. I stick with it. I built my narrative now. XRP is my number one holding. Bitcoin's number two. WFI is about to shoot in the number 3 spot. Okay, I got my American Bitcoin. I got the picks and shovels. I got the new DeFi bank. This is my most speculative one, right? Because it's not built yet. We got the USD one, but I think, if I was betting in a race and the person writing the rules, traveling around the world, and it might be a good person to bet on. Got Bitcoin, the new gold. Okay, and I got XRP, the bridge currency, and I got many other cryptocurrencies, Solana, HBAR, XLM, all those different things. But when I get convicted in something, I stick with it. And here's the difference: is I have an ecosystem outside of crypto, and here's why I have an ecosystem. Do you see what's happening right now in crypto? After 1010, everybody has lost faith. Do you know why we're so stoic and calm? Because we have ecosystems. With our profits, and everybody's telling you not to take profits, it's ridiculous. You should absolutely take profits. Because this is why everybody's panicking. They watch it go up, they watch it go down. They get liquidated, they panic sell. It goes up. The influencers tell them it's going to go to the da, 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 never does. And they come sliding back down and they're depressed. And because they're depressed, they make bad decisions. And because they make bad decisions, it wrecks their portfolio. And when it wrecks their portfolio, they stop believing. That's not how winning is done. That's not how investing is done. And that's not how you build wealth. Warren Buffett buys, holds long enough for it to compound. He buys good companies at a fair price. He buys things that create cash flow. So I just modeled what they did at a small level and it became much bigger. And here's how I do it. It's called CAPL DR. It's my strategy that I invented for the new monetary system because you're getting crushed by inflation and you're about to get destroyed by inflation. So you think your investments are growing at 6%, but you're not even beating inflation. You're not even treading water, guys. So here's how I beat inflation and beat hurdle rates. Is number one, I create cash flow. Okay. With the last bull run, I pulled profits. Everybody rubbernecked, came sliding back down 80%. I took profits off the table. I did what I knew best in that moment as I expanded my businesses and I put more money into my companies and I built more cash. You know, their gurus open up all these companies and do all this stuff. And so I created cash flowing companies, but with my cash flowing companies, I didn't have lifestyle creep. Okay. I've created these parameters based on net worth and lifestyle. Okay. So I've had some lifestyle changes recently, but it matches the percentage to my net worth. Here's what I do. I save and then I spend. I do it opposite of what I was taught before. I save and then I spend what's left over. So if I grow in net worth and I have more income, then if what's left over has increased, then the lifestyle changes. Everybody does it opposite in America. Okay, so when my income comes in, income is different than cash flow. Income is what you earn and cash flow is what you create. So I get income and number one, 10% goes into dividends to pay me cash. So that's passive. So now I have businesses that I created through my profits that pay me income. I take the income and I create cash flow. So we have 10% going into cash flow. Now that generates more cash flow. So now I got businesses paying me. I got dividends paying me every single week. Okay. Then outside of the 10%, then I have money left over because I save and then I spend. So I have money left over before I start spending. And I take that and I invest in things like the markets go down, Xrp, Bitcoin, WFI, American BTC. I just started getting into that, right? And I buy more dividends. No, excuse me. And I buy the dip when it comes down. Also, I pump money into my life insurance policies. Okay. So that's P in my CAPL DR strategy. So I pump money into assets. So C is cash flow. I pump money into assets that have fixed supplies that are deflationary opposite of the US dollar. I store my money in things that have fixed supplies that grow over time. I don't care about the volatility. You see this in your bank account. I see this in your bank account because it's tricking you. You see $10,000. I see deflation of your currency. You see this in my crypto and you're like, what an idiot. And I see this. Boom, 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 boom over the last 5 years. My XRP went up 800%. My Bitcoin went up 200%. My overall portfolio has gone up. It's down right now. I think it's about overall about 300%, 360%. It's not bad, right? Not bad. Not bad increase. Now you can use gold. You can use silver. It's just beating inflation. Okay. And how do you beat inflation? You have to invest in something that beats the hurdle rate, right? If inflation is, 24% from 2020 to 2024, you got a big hill you got to climb there, right? Okay. Then we have P, protection. When these assets profit, take profits. Get your initial investment out at least. Everybody's so fearful of capital gains. I'm mitigating capital gains through investing in, I just invested in a farm deal in Florida that, gave me 4 times the multiple depreciation, right? There's a lot of different things you can do. There, you do crypto IRAs. There's all kinds of things you can do, okay, to really mitigate taxes. So everybody's but the reason why I pull profits is because then I protect my money. Okay, I insure my money. Now I want to talk to you about cash value life insurance. Here's why the industry gets a bad rap. Okay, is number one, they're cash value life insurance. They're not retirement policies. Agents are selling them as retirement policies. Okay, they're cash value life insurance policies. They have permanent life insurance and they have the cost of insurance. This is why the industry gets a bad rap, is agents are setting them up incorrectly. Okay. They're not teaching you how to fund them correctly. They're giving you huge death benefits and not telling you how much money you need to put in them. They're cash value life insurance. They need cash in them And if you don't understand the cost of insurance, the first 7 years, you're going to get wrecked. You need to put these things in there and max fund them properly, right? So when you fund them properly and they're structured correctly, that benefits the client, and you use them like we do for L, capital DR, leverage, you can crush the hurdle rate. So let me give you an example. If I was to put $100,000 into my life insurance policy, I now have $100,000 that's protected, principal protected. So if the markets come collapsing down, which I think they're going to at some point, there's going to be a big collapse, I believe, at some point in the next couple of years. Okay. My principal is guaranteed. You come collapsing down, I have insured money right here. Okay. Now my insured money that's sitting there gives me the ability to borrow against it because tax code 7702A, and I beat hurdle rates. So I can borrow at 5%. So if I borrow $100,000 at 5%, that's only $5,000 for the year. So if I borrow against the insurance company, my cash value still exists in there, and I borrow $100,000 from the insurance company and I go put it into Bitcoin that grows 50% every year, and I ride it out to the next bear market, and the bull run comes in and it doubles, guess what? Boom, I pay it off. I just bought free Bitcoin. There's no liquidation risk on this side. But what you're being taught is to go leverage your crypto and leverage your assets, leverage your stocks, and then the market collapses and you get liquidated. Liquidate on the right side, or borrow on the right side where you can't get liquidated, and put it into something that you can manage the volatility, right? You just have to understand this stuff. They don't teach us about inflation. They don't teach us about hurdle rates. And then DR, de-risk, de-risk, de-risk. Stop playing games. If you're in profit, pull profit. Okay. I do high risk, high return dividends. I de-risk every single week out. I get out as quick. I extract cash flow as quick as possible because my NAV is eroding. Boom, out. It's like if I owned a business and landscaping company and the equipment's eroding because I'm getting more and more clients, I'm getting that cash, putting into Bitcoin and XRP. Okay. So that's my system, guys. And I really, really believe that it's going to do very well over the next 5 years because it's deflationary, right? It's protected. It's systematized. It has cash flow. So when you're panicking, when everything's collapsing, I'm celebrating because I'm buying the hell out of this dip. I'm like, please keep going down. Please keep going down, right? Because I know there's going to be a big wave back up, and then I calmly take profits and I feed the ecosystem to protect my family. So I love you guys. Hey, if you want to learn this in person, the Freedom Conference is live, guys. It is selling out really, really fast. Let me bring it bigger on the screen. This is our live event, February 6th. We have our VIP event and then our open event that you can come to, teaching our CAPL DR strategy. Exactly what I just talked to you guys about. Check this out. Cash flow, appreciation, protection, leverage, and being around the badass community of people. Okay. This is live and in person. You can also join it online as well. You can watch it all over the world. For a very, very decent price. So if you go down here, you're going to see it selling out really fast. Okay. We only have a few left of the VIP. This always sells out very quickly. We just launched the public on this. And then this is the general admission here. Okay. We have 130 max seats. We have limited to 30 seats in the VIP. So if you truly want to get in the VIP dinner, hang out with me, private dinner. We're going to be going over my wealth strategies, breaking everything down. We got general mission as well. If you just click on these explains, and then you have the live stream where you can watch the general mission part live streamed for only $199. So get your tickets. This is a amazing conference, and I love you guys, man. And I hope this helps. This information reaches your heart well. My goal is just to help you guys. That's why I'm telling you exactly what I'm doing. I'm sharing with you my portfolios, not gatekeeping. I have a whole free education section here. And if you want to get into our community, our academy, we have a very powerful academy where we teach all this stuff. We're educators. We don't invest people's money. In the description down below, you can join my academy in this video or click my social media platform. I love you guys. Warriors, let's get your shit together.